Well, when he's excited, yes, because back when we were practicing for Las Vegas in February, every time I shoot a 10, he would whoop, and that would make me even more stressed for the next arrow because I'm like, I gotta shoot a 10, I gotta shoot a 10. And it would make me notice that I was shooting really good, and so that would set me off.
Ever wonder what's going through a parent's mind as their kid's on the line? Well, guess what? It's not always calm. Sometimes we have these silent prayers, we clench our fists, high anxiety, and this internal screaming that we want that last 10 more than they do. If this describes you, you're going to enjoy this podcast. We're going to talk from a parent's perspective, and we have a couple youth archers that will explain what it's like from their side. Welcome to Raising an Archer. I'm Scott.
And I'm Kari. And joining us are Milla and Ellie. Those are our youth archers.
Hello.
Hi, Milla. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Milla. I'm 17, and I've been shooting archery for about 8 years now. Olympic recurve for 5 of those years, and in the beginning, I shot barebow for 3 years.
Awesome. Ellie, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm 14 years old. I'm on the Spider X team. I've been shooting for 4 years, and I shoot Olympic recurve.
So what we're going to talk about are these mind games that the parents have to go through. And to be honest, I think we stress out more than they do when they shoot.
I'm pretty sure we do.
Would you agree?
Pretty sure.
Definitely agree, right?
Yes.
I remember one of Ryan's first big tournaments, and it was a 4-H tournament. We were shooting this game called Wand. And if you know what Wand is, it's probably because you've done 4-H somewhere that has shot it. It's a big strip of 3-inch piece of tape that you're trying to shoot, and if you touch the line, you get 1 point, and if you hit it solid, it's 2 points. I believe that's what it was. It's been so long. Ryan had to hit a 2-pointer to win on the last arrow, and he did. And I mean, I'm so hyper focused on it. I come from team sports. I am ready for this thing, I'm about to explode, and it hits and I scream yes. And I do this Tiger Woods thumb, yes. And no one else knows what's going on, because in archery, really the only person that knows what's going on with you is your parent or your friend that's watching, but more than likely it's going to be your parents.
It's a lot like golf. Archery is like golf. It's a quiet sport.
Yes. It is a quiet sport. It's kind of like tennis. Whenever they do the 2 fingers, they just do the little tongue,
silent clapping.
The little silent clapping, right?
Yep.
So, what do you girls think? You think archery from a parent? If we encouraged all the parents to scream and yell like we're at a national event, would you guys be excited about that?
Yeah, I think
it would make archery more entertaining. And during those international tournaments, a lot of other countries are actually pretty loud. I think the Americans are really kind of different in that they are quiet and silent. So it would actually be preparing archers for those national events and make it a lot more entertaining.
I think it adds a lot better atmosphere. Like when you watch the Aggies have their own little cheer every time somebody hits a 10. I think that adds a fun.
That's a Texas A&M Big 10.
Like collegiate nationals. I mean, that tournament is pretty wild. I mean, everyone loves their collar, right? So they're doing little cheers and all of that. So it's a lot of fun. So I think if we incorporated that into other tournaments, I agree with Ellie. I think it would improve the atmosphere.
Okay, parents, you heard it straight from archers. They want more noise. They want more encouragement and more shouting and cheering them on.
The very first rodeo, there was 60 archers participating, and we were standing. The tournament's over. You have no idea. There's no live scoring or anything back then. So we're sitting in the bleachers, and one of the kids next to me, he says, it would be pretty fun if somebody just ran because all the ranch and wildlife, individuals were all lining up, and so the kids were supposed to walk through this big line, and you saw how many there were at the rodeo. And so there's only 60 kids. There's more of them than the archers. There's more
committee members than the archers.
Yeah, and so they're all lined up. And he says, wouldn't it be awesome if you just ran through and high-fived all of them? I was like, yeah, you should do that. He goes, I'll do it. I'll totally do it. And then they called out his name for reserve champion. He had no idea that he was going to be the reserve champion. He jumped up. He started running. He high-fived everybody going down. Everybody screaming and yelling. And I'm just like, that's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
And so then they call out the other names. Now everybody feels like they have to run. And Ryan turns to me and goes, I have to run and high five people if I get called. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes.
So let's get back to archery. I know what parents go through on that first arrow, and I know Kari's the same way. I know what I go through. I know what a lot of parents go through on that first arrow. But from a archer's perspective, Milla, when you step up to the line and you're that first scoring arrow, what is it like, and what do you think through when you're about to set up and go?
Honestly, there's a lot of anxiety when you first start scoring, and my mind is just racing. For me, I think through like a process for each of my arrows, like same thoughts, make same shots. That's a little saying my coach came up with. So I have a few words that I say each arrow that just helps me keep my mind at peace and helps me not freak out.
How about compared to the last arrow?
I just really try to keep the same thoughts each shot,
Okay.
right? Consistency in thoughts, consistency in shots.
Thoughts and shots.
Yes.
That's a lot to say.
Mhm.
What about you,
Yeah.
Ellie?
The first arrow, I pretty much really zone out on the first arrow. I don't very focus on that one, which is something I definitely need to work on.
And that stresses me out as a parent right now.
Like you didn't know that till just now?
No, I didn't. This is why this is going to kill me.
This is going to be a good
now
one.
that you know this next
Podcast.
tournament that I'm not thinking on the first shot.
On the
Okay.
first arrow.
On the last arrow, I think I'm probably at my calmness. Especially if I shot good the first 2 ones, it's like, okay, no matter what I shot 2 tens before that, so who cares what I shoot now? Like, it's still a good round.
Poor Scott.
But yeah.
So Kari, let's talk about the first arrow for you.
Man, the first arrow for me, so my son shoots compound freestyle. It is a game of perfection, and it's usually the first arrow or the last arrow that's, the most important in his game. The other 28 or whatever in the middle of it really doesn't matter. Those are all good shots, and but the first one, I usually hold my breath. I'm very nervous. And then that kind of sets the tone for him the rest of the game. If the first one shot is good, then at the end too, I will hold my breath, knowing what's to come. Is this going to be a 299 or is it going to be 300?
Right.
And it's very stressful.
It's really is stressful. A roller coaster of emotions, right?
It is.
From a parent's perspective. I just feel like they have a great round, and then we start that next round, and there's a bad shot. We want it more than our archers sometimes, and that's why. And that's actually a problem. We'll talk about it in another podcast.
That's for another podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast to talk about who wants it more. But we're living vicariously through our archers, and they shoot a bad shot. What inevitably happens when that happens? In my case, Ryan would whip his head around, like really upset, or Ellie doesn't really whip around. She comes back just mad as fire. But either way, when they look back or as they're walking back, what is your go-to face? I know we can't show it here, but what is that go-to face? And explain it.
For me, I try not to pay attention, or if I did pay attention and it was a bad end, I really try hard to pretend I wasn't paying attention, because I do show my emotions on my face. We were talking about this earlier. The paying attention for me, I usually don't. You usually find me socializing with other archery moms or families, because the emotional roller coaster that this 4 hours is on is very stressful. So I really tried to stay as distracted as possible so that Connor can't see my reactions. And he, as a youth archer, when he was younger, he turned back after every arrow. I had to I reacted every arrow. And now, as a more seasoned archery mom, I like I said, I tend to keep myself distracted, and he knows that 90% of the time I'm not paying attention, so I'm not the one he needs to look for.
And I will tell you, that was the best thing I could ever do, was disconnect as a parent. And I've tried everything. I tried if they turned around or if they started walking back, I'm like, hey, good job. I give them a thumbs up with a big smile. That would make them mad as fire.
Yes.
They hated that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's like if I question it, I get in trouble. If I act like I'm happy, I get in trouble. If I try, and then I got to where they'd come back and wouldn't say anything other than snack.
Right.
Yeah, Ellie's like getting all my tricks here. Even with Ryan shot in Vegas last year, and this is even as a young kid. Now fast forward, he's 20 years old. He's shooting at Vegas. He's shooting the championship division. He shoots his first 300. I wasn't there. I waited until the last round to show up because I couldn't sit there and watch every single arrow. I think I'd have a heart attack. Day two, same thing. Like, I waited until the last end, and I just let the Aggies tell me what was going on so that I didn't have to be hyper focused on anything. So I'm checking I'm going and socializing, like you said. I'm going to, it's not like I'm sitting in a corner somewhere. I'm just going and talking to everybody, and ever so often looking at my phone to see if I can see some update, just to keep my mind not hyper focused on them, because I knew if I'm there, my stress will definitely go toward the archers. I believe so, right? Is that
for sure?
Milla, if your mom is all stressed out, do you get stressed out?
I think I would, but she's pretty good at keeping her distance and do her own thing. I mean, at the USAS, where there's literally these maze of tents, I usually don't see her most of the time. Sometimes she comes by and she's like, hey, here's some snacks, here's some like extra water, and then she just disappears again.
That's a seasoned mother right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
She just goes off, does her own thing, talks to the other parents. Yeah. I mean, she's been at this for a while, and she's definitely learned a lot from starting when we were younger. I mean, at the last year when my brother, he shot his 300, she didn't even know what was going on. It was someone else texted her, and she was like, wait, he's actually doing super well. What? And she was just on Facebook, she wasn't paying attention.
You can't
she
as a
really
parent.
tries her best to like just disconnect. I think that's the best thing you can do for your archer.
Ellie, do you feel your dad's emotions when you're shooting?
No, because, well, when he's excited, yes, because back when we were practicing for Las Vegas in February, every time I shoot a 10, he would whoop, and that would make me even more stressed for the next arrow, because I'm like, I gotta shoot a 10, I gotta shoot 10. And it would make me notice that I was shooting really good, and so that would like set me off, I think. Negative emotions, I don't really feel like I notice that.
Okay.
Yeah, the question I have for Ellie is that when I'm there, she barely acknowledges me, but when I leave, and if something goes awry, she's calling me and going, "Where are you?"
Panicking, looking for you.
Get back over here. And by the time I get back over there, somebody else has already taken care of it. She's moved on. Is that about right?
Yeah.
The silent support is, I think, probably the best thing that we can do as a parent, and it's very hard. Trust me, I understand. If you're listening to this podcast, I will guarantee you, if you're a parent, you've asked, what happened, like on a bad arrow. If they knew, they would have done it, right?
Right.
So coming up with creative ways to encourage is the best thing to do. But I even fail at that a lot of times. Like she says, like, why'd you shoot through your clicker, bro? She doesn't think it's as funny as I do. So we have this new segment we tried last episode, and it seemed to be a big hit. It's called Hit or Miss, and this is the parent edition. If you hit, it's true. If you miss, it's false. And so we thought it would be fun if Milla and Ellie would ask us the questions, and then we'll get to ask them a few questions of our own.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Okay, guys. So, have you ever tried to coach from behind the line?
Never have. Nope. Never done that.
Oh, come on now. That is a solid 10x hit.
Yeah, that is definitely a hit.
All right. Have you ever done the silent fist bump after a good end?
Absolutely.
A lot of times.
Hit.
I've hidden in the back behind everybody watching, and I see that 10 hit. I'm like, yes.
Have you cried more than your kid after a tournament?
Hit again. That's yes. But for good emotions, mine was when Connor won the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo as a grand champion 2 years ago. That was tears. That was happy tears. But yes, I've cried.
Yeah, if the question was, have you gotten mad as fire at your kid for being emotional? Yes. Yes, it'd be a hit. Be very hit.
Yeah.
Big hit.
I
Big
know
hit.
my mom certainly has felt that with me and my brother. Yeah.
Have you ever texted another parent during scoring?
That is a hit. As
Definitely a hit.
Have you ever said it's just for fun, but secretly it's not?
It's never for fun. We don't shoot archery for fun. Come on now.
So I say it.
Definitely a hit.
I say it. I was like, we have to have fun. We have to have fun. But yeah, deep down, my competitive spirit definitely kicks in.
For sure. We don't drive halfway across the country for fun. Come on
Right.
now.
We go there to win.
You've packed the wrong gear or forgot something.
I'm going to go with miss on this one because I'm not responsible for that bow case.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was about to say I have to say I hit because for Ryan, I babied Ryan. I don't baby Ellie. So if she forgets something.
Well, I did forget my arrows the other day and you drove up to our house and brought them to me.
Well, that was pretty good.
We wouldn't have done that for Ryan. I think we were majority hits on that one.
I
Kari.
think so too. Archers, we are going to ask those questions to you. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Hit or miss. Have you ever done this silent fist bump after a good end?
I would say miss. I feel I don't do a fist bump, maybe like a head bang, but like I'm
kind of the same thing, kind of.
Or like I'll just be like good shot to myself, but I don't know if I've really done a fist bump. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't done like actual like fist bump thing, but I have thought in my head like, oh, that's such a good end. I did so awesome. I'm so proud. Yeah, so I guess half a hit. I barely hit the
Okay.
target.
We had this coach. We still have this coach, Joe. When Joe used to shoot, he would literally say, "Good shot, Joe. Good shot." Like, he would always tell himself, "Good shot."
Positive reinforcement.
Yep.
All right. Have you ever blamed the wind while you're indoors?
And I'm gonna change it to a little bit. Wind, or you blame some element for indoor, like the lighting, or the person next to you is too close.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
an absolute
Yeah,
hit.
Milla?
I'm gonna have to say a miss. I feel like as a perfectionist, I blame myself. I mean, even outdoors, it'd be like I didn't aim off enough. Like I didn't compensate for the wind enough. I just blame myself in the end. I'm like, I didn't do it correctly. It was my problem.
I've definitely blamed a bad shot off of something flying into my eyeball.
Oh.
Well, let's talk about this. That was at a lesson. She's like, she had a bad shot. She's like, oh, something flew in my eye. And her coach says, that is definitely the time when you let down. If something goes in your eye, that's 100% let down.
Yeah, I was too committed to my shot by that point.
Okay, ladies, have you ever texted your coach during the competition?
Almost
Yes.
every competition. Hit.
Yeah.
That was a quick, both of them. Both of them were quick hits. Okay. Do you have names for your bow?
Yes. Honestly, my bow has gone through a lot of names throughout the years because, I mean, if I get like a new riser, a new limbs, then it gets a new name. So currently it's Blueberry.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Mhm.
Cute. Ellie, do you have a name for yours?
My last one was Pink and named Pinkalicious, but I haven't named my new one yet.
Because it's kind of boring.
Yeah, maybe I could name it like Patricia or something. It's it's white.
It's white. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
a
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have either of you said it's just for fun, but secretly it's not.
Hit.
Yeah.
Said that at the
Okay.
rodeo when I shot really bad. I was like, it's just for fun.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah. I think you
okay.
really try to convince yourself like that it's just for fun, but there's that deep down feeling of disappointment and sadness.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
it's such a different sport, archery is, because of these team sports, there's always somebody else you can lean on if you're
Yep.
having a bad game or if something goes wrong. You can get away with a mistake. In archery, it's all on you, and there's little room for mistakes.
For sure.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, last question. Hit or miss, have either of you packed the wrong gear or forgot something?
Yes.
Hit many times and
Hit.
multiple times to hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a 10x for both of them.
And
ladies
do
and
you
gentlemen.
blame somebody else for that?
Absolutely.
Oh.
No.
Hit again.
You didn't grab my arrows. I never grab your arrows.
At the Arizona Cup, this last one on qualifications, I actually left my sight there at the end of qualifications. So then the next day in eliminations, I'm like, wait, where's my sight? And I was freaking out, but I decided to go check the lost and found because I'm like, that's something I would do, is I would leave it. And luckily it was still there
Oh,
and
that's
nothing was
so good.
changed or damaged. But yeah, it's definitely my fault. I
I
should keep better track of my equipment.
I have forgotten the thing to attach my sight to my bow back at home when we were in Las Vegas.
And I got to tell you a funny story on that, because I'm just like,
Ellie.
you forgot it? And she's like, it's no big deal. Just wrap some rubber bands around it. I'm like, rubber
Yeah,
bands?
rubber bands will hold
What?
great.
So 10 o'clock at night, I'm at Home Depot with a sight trying to figure out something
We
that
had to
we
bring
can.
my riser to Home Depot to see what would fit in the
What would
screw.
Oh my god.
What we have to do, right, Gary?
Anything.
Just MacGyver it.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
So moving on, there are some apparently, and I'm sure the girls are going to tell us, but there's this parent code of conduct that we're held to.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Okay.
I think we may have to write it up and then send it out to all the parents so that they understand how they're supposed to act when an archer is shooting, or what we're supposed to do. Milla, would you like to share some of this with us?
Yeah, don't ask what happened that end. Honestly, I think that happens a lot. I mean, a lot of parents have good intentions with that
Happens a
question.
lot. It happens
it's-
daily. Daily.
Yeah, because and really it comes as an attacking like question towards the archers, like what happened during that end. It really it does not help. It will make your archer upset and it will make your archer mad at you.
Mhm.
If you want to help them try to figure out what's going on, I would suggest asking like, did you learn anything today? Like, don't
Yeah.
Yeah, I
ask
wonder.
what happened that
So
end.
so let me
Definitely
ask
not.
you. I'm gonna put you in a scenario. So you've been killing it. You're shooting tens of nines, and then all of a sudden you shoot a 7, and you come back, and I say, "What happened?
Oh.
What am I supposed to say?" So what Ryan one time, he's like, "What do you think happened?" I shot a 7. Like, okay, but what should we say in that case? Because we're frustrated, you're frustrated. How do we hide it as a parent? How
I
do we
wouldn't
hide
say
that?
anything because
What?
even if you
What?
even if you say something like, "Oh, look at those tins that you shot," it
Still makes you
they're
mad.
gonna still
Still
think,
makes you
yeah.
mad.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anything at all because anything that you say, their brain is gonna take it the wrong way. Honestly, especially in that scenario where they shot an arrow, they're unhappy. They're gonna view any sort of comment as negative. So honestly, the best thing you can do is just not say anything or say something neutral, like, "Hey, you want this Pepsi?" or something.
Yeah. I think definitely what happened is the worst question you can ask. Because I don't know. Or maybe I do know and I do not want to talk about it.
Yes.
So maybe it's Sour Patch Kid.
Perfect.
It really just try to get their mind off it, like asking random questions like that. It just redirects their mind and you just forget what you were even thinking about.
Mhm.
Like, do I want a Sour Patch Kid? Yeah, that tastes good.
Yeah. So speaking of snacks
Oh,
and
yes.
parent code of conduct, Ellie, what is it that we should What else should we do as a parent while we're there at a competition?
Always bring the right snacks. For me, I really like a loaf of bread. That is my favorite snack while shooting, because definitely when you're nervous at a tournament, your appetite changes, and maybe all I want in that moment is a loaf of bread, and I'll need that loaf of bread.
Needs a few carbs, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Same, like just bringing grapes, not anything sugary, just because it gets makes you shaky and sets your, I don't know, your heartbeat off. I don't know.
I think every kid's a little different. They're probably looking for something. I try to stay away from real sweet types things. I may say, okay, here's a couple Sour Patch Kids, but I'm not going to give you a whole pack to go eat or a
Connor,
donut to eat.
I think we've talked about this before. He carries with him jelly beans.
Mm-hmm.
That way,
yeah.
That way he can just pop 3 or 4 in his mouth when they're pulling arrows or on their way back from scoring.
Last year at Aggie Invite, I had a bag of Reese's that if I had a good round, I'd get 1 Reese.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, I think protein and carb-filled snacks, it's usually what I try to stick with, just something that can sustain me throughout the tournament. When I have something with sugar, it's usually a fruit like watermelon or grapes, especially for outdoor, just to get some extra water and moisture to stay hydrated.
So Milla, what else as a parent should we be doing or not doing?
Or not doing.
Never coach while shooting, especially during a tournament. Tournament is not practice. You aren't working on your form. You aren't changing things in your form. You're just shooting. And I know archers, they can have a bad shot and they may go to their coach and be like, hey, what I did wrong in that shot. But if they ask you, they only coach when asked. If your archer wants you to watch them, then you can watch. But besides that, don't coach your kid. Leave them alone,
It's kind of the saying. Yeah, it's kind of the saying that I can coach another kid, if I'm coaching them, but from a parent, I don't coach my kids.
Right. Yeah.
And the last one, I'll ask this one, and this one's to Kari. Watch, but don't let them see you watch. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
So that should be on the list of parents' code of conduct.
Yes. Watch, but don't let them see you watching, for sure. Sneak a peek every once in a while. Just glance downrange. Make sure the target's looking pretty decent, that they're having a good attitude and having a good time. But don't watch every single arrow, because you'll stress yourself out. Then they will get the habit of, looking back, waiting for your reaction.
Yeah, and Kari, I don't think we've ever broke one of these rules. Ever.
Nah.
What do you guys think?
Not us.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely have, huh?
I think every parent breaks at least one of these rules. It's kind of inevitable.
Sure. Every end. One of those, almost every end.
Exactly.
I'm going to keep track now. When we go to Aggie this weekend, I'll keep track.
Yeah.
And just see.
And I think that, what have we learned? And one thing that I know Kari and I were talking about this earlier, that our approach has changed when we go. We come in almost like, when I come in, I won't say we. So when I come in, I have kind of a game plan of okay, I'm going to be there for this part. And I know it sounds kind of scripted, but I found that this works. It worked differently for Ryan, my son, versus my daughter, Ellie. So I know that when I get there, I'm going to sit there until she really, we'll talk a little bit. We'll do socializing. We'll do these little things. But for that first end, I need to be there for that first end. Then I leave and I try to stay within distance. Outdoors different. It's so big. But indoor, yeah. I'm always, even though I may be talking to somebody, I'm still kind of watching her and just kind of keeping an eye. But I don't want her to see me. I've learned kind of how that should work with our relationship.
Right. For us too, we are similar with Connor in the beginning when he was, 7, 8, 9 shooting. I watched every arrow constantly. He had my full undivided attention while he was shooting. As we have matured in our shooting and me being a more seasoned archery mom, I do the same thing. We get in there, get settled, kind of have our base camp set up. I watch him shoot his practice ends. I may watch the first end. I may not. But I do, like I said, glance every now and then, look at the target, make sure things are going good. And then for the most part, I socialize. But again, like you're within viewing distance so that if they do look back looking for you, you're there. But most of the time, Connor knows that I don't pay a lot of attention to his shooting. And if you asked him if that hurt his feelings, he'll tell you no, it doesn't hurt his feelings because he knows I wear my emotions on my face. And if he turns around and sees them, then it filters back into him. So our approach has changed over the years as parents, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a learning experience for parents and the archers trying to figure out, what fits for them because everybody's different, And I think it takes time and just learning. Yeah.
It does. And as a archery coach, I see the phases of raising an archer in a different light now. I see the parents are coming to me, how are you so calm? Well, because we've done this a lot and because I don't watch every arrow. The emotional side of it for the kids looking back, I even some kids, when I notice that the kids are struggling, I will go talk to their parent to distract the parent a little bit so that the kid doesn't necessarily have to look back every time or feed off of their parent emotions. But it's kind of neat once you've been through it as long as I have, then you go back and you see the new archers and their parents experiencing what you experienced. So I like to be able to pass that knowledge along. And you still want them to experience it because it's part of their growth as a parent in raising the child and raising the archer. But at the same time, you're also there to support it too because you've been there.
Ellie, what does support feel like to you?
Just like y'all said, like just being in the distance where I can see y'all. Like if I have a really bad shot, or if I shoot through my clicker and I turn and I can't see you anywhere, that's going to get me frustrated that you're not there. But if I can still see you in distance, then it makes me feel better.
See, it's very hard to win, Kari, isn't it?
I know.
You have to be in a 5 feet radius.
You got to be within distance, and you better be within eye shot.
Yeah.
And you better not be watching when it happens.
Right.
So
but you need to be supportive.
See, so much pressure on us as parents. The one thing I have learned is I am my kid's biggest fan. And when I show up, I'm not coach. I'm just being there to be dad and be supportive. That has been the best piece of it. I mean, that's the best advice I can give to somebody. If you are there, hyper focused on them, and they feel like they have to justify every single shot to you when they come off the line, it's just not going to be. It's not fun, and they're not going to be successful.
Nope. You're exactly right when you said you're there to be the parent. I learned that about maybe 3-4 years ago. Like, I'm not Coach Kari right now to my son. I am mom. I am archery mom. And that made a world of difference in the attitudes and emotions while they're shooting.
Kari, Milla, Ellie, if there was one thing you wanted to say, what is it that would make us great archery parents?
I'm going to go with something a little lighthearted and tell you I will always bring the snacks.
That is, I can't say that because I'm terrible at snacks. I'm very dependent on parents like Kari.
I will always bring the snacks.
Milla?
I think just let your kid be, let them shoot, let them have fun at the tournament. And they're fine on their own, and if they need you, they will come to you.
And
Ellie?
Just don't ask what happened on a bad shot. It's the worst thing you can ask.
I love it. Scott?
So mine is, and I'd mentioned it, it's the biggest fan. I want to be there. I want to be supportive. I try not to get emotional, and it's very hard. When I first was, as a parent coming in, I would get very emotional, and I'd say very emotional, enough that they could feel it. That's a problem because I'm just fueling the fire. So the biggest advice is Go and just be your kid's biggest fan.
I like that. That's a good one.
So behind every great shot, there is a parent holding their breath. Guaranteed it.
Sure.
And that is what and it happens. Kari mentioned it earlier when we were talking, and that is so true, because when they hold too long, what happens, Kari?
I'm out of breath, and that means that Connor is too, usually. And that means that shot that he's, holding on needs to either fire, or he needs to, reset and begin his process again. So yeah, we're always holding our breath when we watch.
Yeah, did you guys know that, Milla? So if you hold trying to get through your clicker, if your parents watching, did you know that we hold our breath during that whole time?
No, I did
No.
not.
We
New
do.
information to me.
That's new information. Oh, and
Yes.
us saying this, ask any of the parents out there. I guarantee you they'll say, "Oh yeah, we've ran out of breath before," and it's just like let down.
Yes. I'm like, I'll exhale real big, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm glad he did that. Or I'm out of breath and I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, oh my God, he needs to let down. He needs to let down. I can't breathe. He needs to let down. And then he usually does, which is good. So,
Or he doesn't, and then you like
or
panic.
he doesn't.
You do this panic
and I'm
search.
like, oh my
Okay, where did they go? Where did it go?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me what happened. Please don't tell me what happened. So I do want to thank everybody for listening. This has been a great episode. Thank you, Milla. Thank you, Ellie, for joining us. And I think a lot of parents are going to be able to relate to it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I had a great time. I learned something new.
And we'll definitely have these girls back for sure.
For sure.
Yes.
For
I mean,
sure.
I think
This is a
Milla
good
may
conversation.
join us again
I
very
love it.
soon. Very soon.
love it.
Very soon. What am I saying? Very soon. It's late. It's getting late here.
It is. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on Raising an Archer, and we will see you at the next target.